Rawr, dog attack.
So if you've been trying to reverse engineer what we are and how we do it, this is your chance. Have a look on YouTube and see what the stats say. So what did I do? Actually foreshadowed this last time around because I knew what I was doing when we leveled up. I took the Exorcist dedication, which isn't in the base books. I think it's in Dark Archive or Undead, one of the two. Yeah. So this one thematically really fits the character. Um, it allows her to collect bits of spirits that are floating around or remnants of ones that we've killed and keep them. Got a little lantern. Looks like the spell version, but is actually real. And then use those to add bits of power um, to the things that you can do. And the more feats I take from that, the more options I get to do with them. So I wasn't that sold on taking another dedication at this point until I read the Book of the Dead with that in, and like, right, well, clearly that just fits the character I've been building, so I'll be doing that then. So that was the dedication. Um, and that gave me a new reaction, which we will hopefully get to see and play. Where this puppy's going to end up on the sofa because I can't kick him off while I'm talking. Um, God. And so that was the Exorcist dedication. So I've got a new piece of kit. I've spent some time turning my normal lantern into this spirit dwelling to go with that. I get the reaction that I can, I think, reduce some damage potentially by expending a spirit part. And then I got a skill feat. So this one I took psychometric resonance. So this allows you to get a sense of the emotions attached to an item and potentially in the future, I think, you can get a sense of the person who generated the emotion as well. Looking forward to using that on things that we find lying around. And then the last thing was a class feat. And I took spirit spells. So that gives me a new first level spell. And then at sixth and eighth level, I get second and third. And there's some restricted characteristics they've got to have to be able to take them, but that's fine because it's all in the sort of space that I'm playing with anyway. And the next question would be, what did I take? And I believe that is biting words, potentially. This is another keeping the theme of using sound to do damage, but in this case, it's insults and taunts rather than just sheer sonic shock. I may come back and correct that. I think I got the spell somewhere else as well. But at the moment, that's what I can read from this version of the character sheet and what I remember I did. Although speaking of retconning, go on. Speaking of retconning, however, I did realise that I'd ended up with Intimidating Glare as a feat twice. Once because I'd taken it as part of the character, and once because it had come with the mask feat that I'd taken. And the GM very, very kindly allowed me to swap out the former one of those So I now have something else related to intimidation. And I'm going to try and remember that I'm supposed to be good at that and actually use it as a skill. That would be really cool. Okay. Hmm. Don't know what you mean. No idea why somebody who's been reincarnated would think that the undead were a terrible plan and should die.
With my very, very imaginative feat choices for level 4. So imaginative. Oh, well, yes. Um, so as a skill feat, I took Hefty Hauler because Phelan's strength isn't too great, and while he is the carrier of the party's bag of holding, there's stuff that really can't go in there. Um, so bumping his encumbered and total load limit up means I can actually get some armor. I mean, admittedly, it's only going to be leather armor, but every little helps, and it can have runes struck on it as and when. I think explorer's clothes can as well, but yeah, yeah, and pushing up to from AC 18 to AC 19 would be useful. Um, from my herbalist archetype, I've picked poultice preparation, which means I'm really should start prepping more herbal mixtures when we return to town. And that usefully means that when we slap that on rather than forcing it down someone's neck, they get another save attempt versus acid, bleed, and fire damage. So it's kind of like the spray from XCOM 2. Just slap it on. It's good for everything. Yeah, yeah. Expect many. You can get cream for that, jerks. Um, uh, and finally, I took the obvious one for a druid with an animal companion, mature animal companion. So Olerin is now bigger and bitier. It's his bite's gone from 1d6 to 2d6. His claw's gone from 1d8 to 2d8. So his damage output is now quite considerable. That's useful. I will
Be a
have to have an.
stride or an attack usually at that point.
Yes. Yeah, if even if I don't use the command and animal action, your animal companion can still use one action on your turn that round to strike or stride. Or or if the fight is a bit more mobile and fluid, Olerin can keep up without me having to drop an action to whistle for the badger and wave the mashed potato at him. It
You're right.
it
One
sh
extra cast of second level spell per day for me.
Yeah.
No extra
I'm
spells, but one extra cast. Sorry.
I'm gonna have to put some thought into seeing if I want to branch out into having something like remove blindness or remove paralysis available. I think with the healing items we've got, I'm only going to maybe have one of my second level slots for a big heal because I've got nothing terribly useful tactically in first level. But second level, I get Flaming Sphere, which is a good um, persistent damage spell because I can have that chasing people around, which is only taking an action to maintain. So that means I can still do a two action cast or maneuver and deploy the badger or anything like that. And as we've seen with some of the recent fights, being able to drop a remove blindness or a remove paralysis starts getting more useful. So So I think what I will do is keep a restorative spell, a healing spell, and something to bolster our offense as we need it. Though I think we're still going to be relying on Invar more to be the offensive spellcaster in the party, as in the
Yeah.
caster of offensive spells.
Whichever. I was going to say, don't forget I have heal as my signature spell, so that does increase in power every level. So I
Uh,
can
that's
throw that
that's
out as well.
That's useful. And I've got a one. There's one level one heal per day. And does that advance in level, or is that just stuck at being a level one heal? Yeah,
Mhm.
but also I've got yeah. That's it. Two. It's two charges because it's equal to the level of my highest spell slot available. Yeah, and of course having it in hand is a passive plus one on the healing done, which is across all my healing spells. So over. casting that over 6 or 7 spells is not an insignificant amount of hit points. Yeah, because that's an extra one per person involved.
Yeah. Yeah, she likes to be far away if she can. And then she gets upset when she has to put her bow down and then almost forgets it in a graveyard. I can choose. I feel I want to say I can choose. Depends on if the thing looks like it's going to have anything worthwhile stealing. Because Neffy can now mug people. Which I kind of feel bad for Invar, really. Essentially, I can make an attack and I can try and rob them at the same time. So obviously, I have to be in melee kind of thing. And I think it's if I deal sneak. Yeah. So if you hit and deal sneak attack damage, then you can also attempt to steal from them, even if that target is in combat. And in my view, I think it should be easier to steal from them because they're distracted because they're in combat.
They'll usually have Moz or a badger to the face.
Exactly.
But hey, if that monster has some quest item or relevant thing that we can grab and then disengage rather than having to fight it to the bitter end, that's no bad thing. Or
so it might have the key to another door or something that we need to get through. Yeah.
Or if it's got its bow out and the +1 magic longsword at its belt, right? We're having that.
Yes, she's doing this to help everyone.
Yes.
Just hope I don't have to bring the backup character in.
Oh dear.
Backup character will be disappointed, not angry.
Oh no, that's even worse. Why?
Thanks, third mom.
That's the stepmom. Yeah. I also exactly because it seems like the most Neffy thing to do. I also have a wary disarmament, which after having to disarm, was it 5 traps in a row that time that she got lasered to the face to start with? 5 or 6 traps or something. I thought that was probably a wise thing. So if I trigger it, I get some extra to my AC or saving throw, which could mean life or death for Neffy, seeing as how close she gets to it frequently. Thinking about it, I think Neffy's been unconscious more times than anyone else in the party. Think about it.
Something amount of time spent on back.
That's not this character.
No? Which character is it?
And can I meet her?
No.
Oh, okay. Different game. And yeah, and then what was the other thing I did? Oh yeah, so I wondered about switching it for getting a level 1 spell because it was cantrip expansion versus. But there is an alternative, which is it would give me like a level access to a level 1 wizard spell, so I might talk to you not recording for that as an alternative, because I'm wondering whether that might be a slightly better pick, but I'm not precious about it. She has access to a couple of spells. She's used, I think I've used Electric Arc a couple of times and stuff, and then obviously she's mainly a detecting magic kind of like metal detector kind of thing. I like to see her in that way. Kind of thing. So something that can help for that might be useful. But yeah. Mm. Hmm. Rings a bell. Goodbye,
players.
players.
Players.